good. You're live.
Hi, welcome to Heather's Longbox. Tonight's special guest is Tom Hutchinson of Big Dog Inc. Hey, Tom.
Hello, how are you?
Good. What do you got going on in the background there?
That is today's official launch on Kickstarter live right now. Princesses versus Zombies is our third issue for the series. It is November 18th, so it's National Princess Day. That's a real thing. And those that follow what I do, they know that I kind of look for those sort of oddball days to do special things on. And so there's a real Princess Day. And so we decided the first princess book we did a couple of years ago, we did on Princess Day. And we decided to go ahead and do another one today as well.
It's a good theme. You got a good theme running.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I feel like you've got, everybody does like 4th of July and everybody does, whatever. Here's my Christmas cover or whatever. But I've never, we did succumb once. We did do an official Star Wars Day book, which I was totally against for many years. We decided to do one anyway. It was fun. But generally, we do kind of the weird days. We have Goth Day. We've kind of made our own. We did Bikini Day a few years ago, just to make it a little more fun and interesting, and find our own path through all the strange, whatever you want to call these things, nostalgic, traditional elements. And so far so good. I mean, people have responded well to it all, and we'll just keep finding new ways to do it.
And you launched this Kickstarter today at noon.
Mm-hmm.
How's it going so far?
Eastern time. We funded the thing in an hour, which is crazy. Because this is, yeah, it is. It's great. But this is the interesting thing about this campaign is it's a very small campaign. So normally we come in and we've got 7, 8, 9, 10, a dozen covers, all kinds of just stuff. In this case, this is just a 12-day campaign. It's just a quickie. And there's only 5 covers. There are now, of course, as we go through this, you'll see there are some bonus Princess Day items as well that are only available today, which are, you'll see the pretty in pink versions will come through. So there are those. Which people have responded to quite a bit. But really, overall, this is a very small campaign, and we are already just 5.5 hours into the campaign. We're already pushing double our initial goal. We've unlocked 2 stretch goals already. We're over 100 backers. Like, this is a wild campaign right now.
I people are positive. People are excited.
Yeah, well, I hope so. Sure, I hope so. I mean, that's the goal, right? But you never really know what the response is going to be. But ever since we dropped this book in, I believe we did this in 2019. The fall of 2019 was when we did the first Princess book, and it was a huge success. We did like a weekend Kickstarter. It was a huge success, and then we dropped the full issue in April the following year, right as COVID was like going mad. And so in April of 2020 we dropped it, and it was our biggest campaign ever. And people have been asking about it ever since. So we've had a lot of things in between that we had to do, with a lot of anniversaries for some of our books. Legend of Oz and Ursa Minor had 10-year anniversaries, so we kind of had to focus on those. But now we had a little bit of time. There you go. There's some Legend of
Oz. But I couldn't find my Ursula Minor or my Critter. And I know I have those books. I don't know why they're in a different box. So this is box. Yeah. So Legend of Oz, Wicked West. I have like a lot of the covers. A lot of the covers were just so beautiful. Joan of Arc.
Mm-hmm. That's part of the Penny for Your Soul book that we do that will be coming back. Spoiler alert.
Here it is.
Already planned. It's happening. So get ready for that.
These, I think, 2015, I got these.
Oh, I don't know. It's possible. That would be, 7 years ago.
Well, yeah, because that's where I met you at C2E2, 2015.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah, you have
It's all a blur, especially that 15 to now is just such a blur with all the Aspen stuff that we were doing when they were publishing us for a while, and now we're doing Kickstarter. Like, just it's a blur the last 7 years. So the fact that we've managed to sort of maintain our any sort of foothold in creating comics continuously in that last 7 years is nothing short of a testament to all the people that you know are willing to draw my words, and all the fans that want to see all of these amazing pieces of art from everybody. It's all about them. I mean, without them, none of this happens, and they have shown up in force today for this campaign. So
I think I just saw Marissa Pope posted something as well.
yeah, she's been posting about her cover, which is part of the mystery box that we have, which is it's sort of a mystery box slash starter kit. So if you're not deep in Big Dog Ink yet, it's a great package. And then of course that pink one, all of the pink ones will be holofoils. They're called Pretty and Pink holofoils. They will all be printed to order. All order numbers will be based on what we get in today. So at midnight tonight, Princess Day is over. So whatever orders we have, that's it. Those books will no longer be available for sale. So if you're watching and you have not checked out the campaign, please go do so. The Pretty and Pinks are today only. Also, everybody that backs today, as you scroll up a little bit more, everybody that backs today will get an automatic bonus item. There's a trading card set that right there that Brian Peterson did, and you will get one of those cards, one of the 3 cards. Just for backing today. That's not a stretch goal. It's not anything else. It's just Princess Day bonus item. And then if you are one of the folks that go ahead and buys the Princess on Parade pack, which is all 5 covers in one pack, we'll give you all 3 cards. So there are some Princess Day bonuses happening today.
I've been running around all day today, so I have yet to look at the campaign. Usually I like to, look at it beforehand, but this is it's the first time I'm seeing it too.
Yeah, like I said, it's a very easy campaign. It's the 5 covers, amazing artists. One brand new artist, Narcilio Sousa, does the Swinging Cindy cover, and that's been very popular. Right there, that's Narcilio's first ever BDI cover for us. So I'm always looking for new folks. Eisenhower Adamar, who does Pocahontas, he's fairly new. He's only done a few covers for us. That one right there, Sharpshooter. So we've got some new guys. We've got some old classics like CB Zane, and it's a nice mix. One cover for each of the characters, and then of course Marissa Pope did her bonus Cindy cover for the mystery box.
Well, I'm so into Marissa's working on a cover for me, so I'm really in tune to like what she's posting and what she's showing off and stuff. And Jen Leonard as well. They have a very similar style, and both have done work for Xenoscope. Dave Brown did a cover for me, just knocked it out of the park. But how do you go about finding your cover artists?
I mean, now it's basically just Facebook. I mean, there's so many art groups that anyone can jump into and just kind of appreciate the art. Or if you're a publisher or creator or whatever like me, just literally just watch those groups, because these guys are posting their art, and if something tickles your fancy, just shoot them a message. Hey, I got a book. What's your schedule? What's your rate? Just talk about it. I mean, just last year, I had Ursa Minor's 10-year anniversary, and I didn't have an artist. And it wasn't until like November that I actually found an artist. And it was Fabio Samao, and it was he was posting his pages from a book that he does for another publisher, and I just reached out to him. I was like, hey, this is what I want to do. Do you have availability? What's going on? And he was like, yeah. And so, holy crap, Fabio Samao has just absolutely blown me away with everything that he's done for that book. So, yeah, It's that's the easy. I mean, and not just Facebook, but anywhere where there's like art groups, specifically groups, because everybody like follows the people that they like. Sure,
but with a group, you can see more artists.
Then it's just a toss up. Like you never know what you're going to see because people are just tossing stuff in. It's like, oh, this and this and this. Okay, great. So yeah, that's basically how I do it now.
Well, so some of your characters are celebrating their 10-year anniversary, but how long has BDI been around?
Yeah, this is the end of year 12 for us. So we're going into year 13 next year. Already have the whole year's already planned out. It's already done. 2024 really is planned out already. So yeah, it'll be 13 years next year.
Wow. So back in the day when you first started out, you were the one doing the drawing.
Oh no. No.
No?
I did
I've seen some of your sketches.
Oh, I've sketched, but there's nothing in print except for one piece that was the original Critter drawing from 1992. God, 30 years ago. So because originally I did want to be a comic book artist, but I realized quickly that was not going to work. So I fell into the writing side of it, but I had been drawing Critter for so long that's how I started writing. Is I started to create a story for all of these sketches that I was doing. And that's how all of that came into play. And then I found artists to do real art because I was not, what I had was not right. So I found Adam Withers and Comfort Love at a con. And no, sorry, not at a con. They were on Digital Webbing at the time. Digital Webbing, an old website that I don't even know if it exists anymore. And I found them there to do character designs for me for Critter, and then to do some other characters. And that's the origin basically of Big Dog Inc. Is it started with Critter. Penny for Your Soul was the first book that got released, but that was just because the artist was faster. It's just the way that worked. But Penny for Your Soul and Critter both released in 2010, and we were off to the races at that point.
And Penny for Your Soul, is that the one where you did a lot of research and you talked to a certain priest?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've always been into the theology stuff, just in general. Whether it's things like the Ten Commandments movies or the Exorcist movie, like it's all the same to me. It's all the same world. But yeah, I did have for a period of time, and I haven't seen him in a long time. I think it was mostly when we were at San Diego Comic-Con this was happening. So, and I haven't been there in a long time. There was I don't know if he was a priest or a pastor or a minister or whatever he was, but he would come. He already knew what Penny for Your Soul was, so he didn't find it at my booth and then buy it. He bought it originally and then found me at a con, and he was really excited because he was like, oh my God, I read this book. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna get torn apart right now. But it was the opposite reaction. It was like he was really like he enjoyed the book. He understood that it was fiction based on his world of the Bible and so on, but he wasn't all bent out of shape about it. He was just like, this is just a wild fiction of this stuff that I know and that I love. And he really enjoyed it. And so I got to see him for 2 or 3 years. He came back to, I think it was San Diego Comic-Con, just to talk about whatever the new stuff was. And I was like, this is amazing. This was not the response that I was expecting from I don't know, like I said, a priest, minister, whatever. But
I thought he complimented you, like on how
but he wasn't all bent out of shape about it. He was just like
how correct you were on a lot of things.
For sure, yeah. He knew that I knew what I was talking about, at least at a general sense. Like I'm not one of these guys who can quote the Bible. I have no idea, but I can research the Bible really well to find the pieces that I need. To find, sometimes we used specific, Bible quotes and stuff as captions, things like that. So he appreciated all that stuff because he knew that I had done enough research, not just in the Bible, but in the external elements. Like A lot of the stuff that I drew from came from the Book of Enoch. And if you have not read the Book of Enoch, wow, are you in for a ride, guys? Highly recommend. I don't care if you like the Bible. I don't care. You can tell me you hate it. Don't believe any of it. I don't care. Read the Book of Enoch. You're going to get a freaking...
Some people say the Bible is a good piece of literature, a good piece. Well, some people say fiction, but they're historically speaking, like these archaeologists are saying, hey, it's actually a good map.
To some degree, yeah. But the Book of Enoch is not in the Bible. So the Book of Enoch is one of the books that didn't get put into the Bible. And when you read it, you know why. And I'm not going to put any spoilers in there. But the Book of Enoch was actually recommended to me by actually a pastor's wife. Billy Ray Bates, I met her at a con, and she does a lot of stuff for, like, she'll do TV. She's a big TV show buff, so she actually writes books about TV shows and stuff like that. But she was a pastor's wife, and so she's very religious too. And so she found Penny for Your Soul at a con, and she was like, "What is this? Tell me what's going on." And she was like, she told me, she's like, "Oh, you need to read the Book of Enoch." And I was like, "Okay," and she was totally right. Yeah.
So if somebody is just getting into your books, Penny, and getting into Penny for Your Soul, would you recommend that they read the Book of Enoch first?
No. It's not it's not like it's not a crib sheet or stuff. But the only thing is that if you know any of that stuff, Penny for Your Soul kind of has those Easter eggs for it, but it's in no way like a necessary. You don't need to know the Bible to read Penny for Your Soul. You don't need to know the Book of Enoch to read Penny for Your Soul. We just kind of have fun with all of the crazy, like in the most recent issue or the most recent series. It starts off with so for those that don't know, Penny for Your Soul is about the end of days. It should take place in Las Vegas. So there's a demon buying souls, owns a hotel and casino, and so on. So in the first volume, we're kind of catching up with this character after the events of the previous series, and she's standing in the lobby of the hotel, like in front of the theater, and the theater you'll see it'll say like the Book of Enoch the musical. So we play around with those little Easter eggs, like I said, and stuff like that is just, if you know it, it's fun, but if you don't know it, it's not gonna like dampen the experience. Just like Oz, right? My Legend of Oz book. If you know the Oz novels and like Wicked and Tin Man and things like that, the things that I do will touch on those, little Easter eggs. We'll do a little nods to this and that, but none of that's required reading to enjoy the stuff that I do.
I this is the only Penny for Your Soul that I've read, and I was shocked.
Shocked is okay.
I was baptized Catholic, and then like at 8 years old, I went Episcopalian because my dad was Episcopalian, which is Catholic light basically, and I was an acolyte, believe it or not. So I was like, whoa. And then I think the first series I read of yours is Legend of Oz, the Wicked West. And I just loved your spin on it. And everything inside was gorgeous, as well as the covers. It was the covers that caught my eye.
Sure. That's their job,
Yeah.
It's like, people sometimes get down on like doing variant covers and stuff, and I'm like, it's there's a number of reasons why we do variant covers, not the least of which is simply to attract an audience to the book, an audience that doesn't. I mean, I don't have the advantage of putting Spider-Man on a book and just having him stand there and look and say, "Look, I'm Spider-Man." I don't have that advantage. So, we have to do art for our characters in storytelling, and sometimes in pinup style, and all the different styles. So, we'll have guys like Joe Jusko, who does painted stuff. We'll have guys like Eric Basildua, who does amazing line art.
I've been following him on Instagram.
Yeah. And all of that helps market a book, a company, a brand, a character that basically no one's heard of. That's the key.
I like seeing like the different, like some artists have just one particular style that they prefer that you see a lot of, but some of them have a lot more in their wheelhouse. And I just like to see different artists take on the character or their
Sure.
spin. And quite honestly, in the age of social media, you're kind of also tapping into their audience.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
I have backers for my campaigns that do not buy anything from me unless that person is on the cover. Like they're not there for me. They're not there for my book. They're there only for that artist and whatever that artist did. So that's a very, very real thing.
Yes. So when you do more than one variant cover, you're capturing different audiences, and hopefully, you convert them, or you turn them over to like, I like this artist, but I love this storyline.
That's the hope. I mean, that's the goal. That's how it works is, we know that Eric Basildew fans will want to see what he's doing across companies and across whatever. Now that doesn't mean they're going to buy the book necessarily, but at least it gives you that opportunity to be, have his fans,
more.
have his fans eyeballs on your project.
Yeah. And this campaign in particular, you said, was only 14 days.
12 days.
12 days.
12 days. Ends November 30th.
Oh shit! I only get paid every 2 weeks. But this isn't the first time that you've done short campaigns.
No.
Jungle Book.
We've done a bunch of short campaigns. Okay. In fact, we even had, when we did Bikini Day, we talked about Bikini Day. That was a 24-hour campaign. It was designed to be a 24-hour campaign. It sold out in an hour. So basically, I launched the campaign. People started buying the books. I went and took my walk around the lake for the morning, and I came back and everything was sold out. I was like, God damn, what's just happened here? So yeah, that was a really interesting day. But yeah, we've done, weekend campaigns, week-long campaign. Like Goth Day this year was a week-long campaign. Most of our campaigns now are 3 weeks as far as our big, like when we do a real heavy duty campaign, it's like 3 weeks. We don't even do 4 weeks anymore. 3 weeks.
Okay.
And then this was, again, this whole thing was an experiment. I mean, in so many ways, not the least of which was the fact that we're running this over like Thanksgiving time and stuff, like holidays. Like forever, we've been told you can't do campaigns in this sort of time frame
because of Black Friday.
Yeah, well, just for in general, people are buying Christmas gifts and stuff, right? And so I'm always up for the challenge. I'm always up for when someone tells me I can't do it. I'm going to figure out how to do it. And
you're like me.
I would think that today kind of shows that, at least now that's not to say that when we get into Thanksgiving and things aren't going to slow down. But at least now at this sort of stage where we're almost 6 hours into the campaign now, and we're about $200 away from doubling our goal and being at $10,000.
That's great.
I'd say we're okay in November, at least at this junction. Now we'll see what it looks like when we're all done on November 30th. We do wrap up November 30th. This is not going to be a big campaign where there's like tons of add-ons and stuff, but there will be one add-on for this thing. It comes on the final day of the campaign. There is a 40-year anniversary for something in pop culture that ties into what we have here. And I reached out to Keith Garvey and I was like, look, this is what I want to do. And he was like, I'm all over it. And so it's done. It's in the can. It's finished. We'll start to tease it.
Harley Quinn's only 30 years. So
no, it has nothing to do with Harley Quinn. Nothing to do
with
I'm
trying to figure out who's 40 years though. Like Batman was 85 and
yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll make sense when you see it. And we'll start teasing it probably next week. But
you writers are always so good at teasing.
Well, there are some who just throw it all out there. They're just like, oh, this is it. This is where it's coming. And I'm just like, I don't like that. I like to be able to show you a piece of whatever it is. And then, we come to the campaign to see the rest of it. That's how we've always done things. It's a term, a methodology that's come to be known as burlesque marketing. So, we've embraced it, and it works for us anyway. But yeah, that's how we do it.
I wonder how you are at Christmas time with your friends and family.
I'm alone at Christmas time. I mean, I'm literally just by myself. I don't really do holidays like at all, because generally speaking, I'm by myself. So a holiday is more like a disruption for me, because I'm not paying attention where I am. So like, for example, 4th of July will come up and I'll be like sending stuff to my printer and they'll be like, yo, dude, we're like gone for the next 4 or 5 days. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's 4th of July. Same thing. It's like Thanksgiving's coming up. So I'm going to send them files and they'll be like, yo, dude, what are you doing? I was like, well, look, I'm working. You could work too.
Well, my kids are 16 and 23. So, when your kids get to a certain age, it's, like my 23-year-old's not even living at home anymore. So it's just another day.
Yeah.
Except for Thanksgiving, Elena wants rolls. This is all she cares about. And I'm like, well, I'm not making a big dinner then. So I'll just buy her a bag of rolls. She's good.
You got another backer.
Yeah, I saw that. We are really close to 10K now. That's
wow. Amazing. Yeah, because when we started, you were at 118, and now you're at 122 backers, 122 backers. Yep. And I see 12 days to go.
12 days, yeah, and that includes today. So
I haven't
just jumped up again.
Oh, 120. Well, what do you? Did you put your pledge in there, Lola? No, not yet. Yeah, I still have to look at it.
So I know one of them, and I don't know the other one. Although, hold on one second, guys, because whoops, my computer is about to be unhappy with me. I got to grab my charger. Okay. This is poor live television, guys, but I'll be right back.
Okay. What do you think of that Pretty in Pink?
It's pretty. I like the mermaid.
I didn't put my glasses on because I like in that in-between area right now. But from what I could see, I really like that Pretty in Pink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I backed Jungle Book, I think. But then like I lost track. I wasn't getting like a lot of notifications on Kickstarters for a while. And all of a sudden I'd see somebody had a campaign and it's like, the post was like 2 or 3 days ago. I'm like, oh, damn. But there's a lot. There's actually quite a few Kickstarters going on that, the books look really good.
Oh, yeah. I got a list.
You got a what?
A list.
Do you? Maybe you can just like give your list of variants saying, here's what I want for Christmas.
Oh, I already bagged them.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Did you? There was one, and I don't even know what the comic book is, but Anna Zoe did a chibi character, and it was an homage to Kill Bill. So it's like the Uma Thurman character. It is so adorable. It's she's got the yellow jumpsuit on. Yeah, it was adorable. I just couldn't resist that. But that campaign has ended. Persuasion. I got the stuff in the mail already. That was a really quick turnaround. There are lots of goodies in there, magnets and keychain and stuff. I don't even look at the levels that they unlock when they reach certain goals. I don't even really look at those. I just look at what I know I want.
Yeah.
I was looking at one campaign and there were a lot of cool stuff, but they had it all like as a separate add-on. So I've noticed like a different trend going on with that. Also, like a one campaign I was looking at, there were 20 different variant covers. But when you're friends with all these artists, like how can you like not ask them or if they want to be a part of the project. You know, how do you? No, I got enough. Come on. Wonder if he's like crawling around or what. Oh, Brian just gave a share. Brian and his wife Nicole are in Florida right now. They're going to relocate to Texas in June, and they have their own show, actually. And for the life, something real. I can't remember. I'm so awful. Like you remember, like when you go to the grocery store, you know, you remember all this stuff, and then as soon as you get to the store, bam, you know, you got a blank head going on. So, well, thank you for sharing, Brian. Appreciate that. I'm sure Tom does too.
I think Tom is transforming into a princess.
You know what? He might. I've seen him wear the kitty ear headphones before, but he's posted pictures of himself in a crown. One time it was just a filter with the crown, but there are times where, well, like he borrowed my crown at Monroe Pop Fest and put it on. Brian is sharing a link to his show called Reels and Heels. So thank you, Brian. I knew it was reels and something. And the part of Texas that they're moving to, Jensen Ackles and his wife have a brewery, and his wife is often working there. So Brian and Nicole have like checked out the area where they're going to be relocating. You know, Nicole's got, you know, work lined up and stuff like that already. And they're hoping to be able to do a live show at that brewery, which I think is really cool. Really cool idea. He's got a whole list of places he wants to go to and things he wants to do and restaurants to check out.
We lost Tom.
Oh, Tom. Oh,
There's Tom.
there we are.
All right, sorry. Everything went haywire on me.
Yeah, I didn't know like how low your battery was. I mean,
well, normally it lasts okay, but when I have like the light and stuff plugged in, it just sucks the battery right out. So I was like, oh my God, as soon as I saw it, and then my screen went a little bit dark, you know, like telling me like, yo, plug your thing in. But everything was downstairs. So, oh well, but we're back.
Lola thought maybe that you were transforming into a princess. I said, he's probably on the floor crawling around trying to plug the damn thing in.
I took my obligatory Snapchat princess photo thing this morning. I haven't used Snapchat in years, which is I don't know. Does anybody even use Snapchat anymore? Is that a thing?
You know what's funny is I had Snapchat when I did my other podcast show, Tinfoil Hat with Heather, and that's how John Bruschi, who owned the network Pod Bros, would send us pictures and videos and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really do anything with Snapchat, so for some reason I put it back on my phone. And this guy popped up and he said, "Oh, it's just for whores and loose women or something like that." I'm like, what? And my cousin's on there, my cousin's constantly posting because she's like doing these marathons and bike riding, and she like has a trail cam and everything. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think my cousin's a whore there. And
I mean, it's, they say that about TikTok, and I mean, there's Instagram. I mean, it's social media in general. I mean, it's on Twitter too. Anybody who thinks it's one place that this exists, you're not paying attention to the world. So
if you want to see boobs, you can find boobs, basically.
It's not tough. Whatever platform you're on, it's there to be found. Maybe not so much Facebook. They get really uppity about it, but
we love boobs.
Besides that, it's out there. I see Brian's hanging out. What's going on, Brian? Welcome back. Welcome back. Well, welcome back. I totally flubbed that, but we're back.
Brian, are you going to sing "Welcome Back, Cotter"? So yeah, we were talking briefly. Like Brian gave a share, and we thanked him, and then his own show is Reels and Heels, and he's in Florida right now, but he's going to be relocating this summer to Texas. So I just was talking briefly about that.
Yep, I've been on Brian's show a whole bunch of times. I go cause trouble on his show.
Yep, Cesar Morales knew that you were going to be on my show today, and he said that you were a great guy. I'm like, I've known Tom for like 8 years.
You can't prove that. You can't prove that. Ask anybody. I'm a troublemaker. Ask Brian. He knows I make all kinds of problems on his show because I come in with hot takes and you know, sometimes I'm kidding, but oftentimes I'm just, it's just what I think, you know, because we're talking about movies and stuff. None of it matters. You might as well have fun, you know.
You're very opinionated when it comes to movies, and that's what Brian, you know, Brian's all about movies.
Nah, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no opinions. Yeah. I have no opinions.
Where do you talk about football at?
I don't. I basically just post on Facebook or whatever, and just have some fun with some people that I know. But I've talked about doing like a football show of some kind, and there's been some interest. Some other people have been interested, but it's sometimes it's too much. Sometimes it's too much. So I you know, even, you know, I was doing a couple of shows, Sunday Sketchin' with Marissa Pope and Ryan Kincaid and April Reyna, and then we'd have guests come on and talk about their Kickstarters, and then all the artists would draw the characters from those Kickstarters. So we did that for a long time. We did that for like almost like 30 episodes, and then cons kind of started coming back, and football was back, and so Sundays kind of got really wonky. And so we made it. We did it.
Woo, congratulations.
There it is. Holy cow. In 6 hours, 6 hours, we have pulled this off. This is nothing short of astonishing. Few people that I know in here, few people that I don't, which is always good. Always want new people.
Yeah. And then, of course, you appreciate, you know, those that, you know, back you up, you know, because you do a couple of campaigns a year.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we have a lot of regulars, but we do have people that also just come in for, you know, one book. Like if they like Penny for Your Soul, they don't necessarily like Critter, you know, for example. So it is that kind of a situation where we kind of are having to build each of these titles almost individually. There's certainly crossover, certainly people that are just here for Big Dog Inc. But the people that buy Princesses versus Zombies, they might not come back next year for whatever reason, for you know, for Ursa Minor, if they don't like vampires and stuff. I mean, I kind of figure if you like zombie stuff, you probably like vampire stuff, but not necessarily. So there is crossover, but it's not 100%. And we've just seen that over the years. You know, every time we kind of do a new book, we kind of have to start at the bottom and build it up again. But you know, we always manage to find a way. And today was all like a huge test market for so much. And so far, all of the check marks are being clicked off.
Yeah. That's great.
So we actually have a very real chance now, $600. Very real chance to unlock a third stretch goal tonight, which would be crazy.
How late are you going to stay up?
Oh, I'm up until like 2-3 in the morning usually. That's just what I do. You know, I'm generally working during the day, and then, you know, as it starts to get around like 10 o'clock or so, I kind of start figuring that I have to start shutting down, and that's when I start watching a lot of movies all the time.
That's what I do. I've been binge watching Star Trek Discovery, you know, so that, you know, the mind's got its downtime before bed.
Yep. So like 10 to 2 is sort of like movie time. And so anything is possible. I recently subscribed to Hulu and Disney because I wanted to watch Prey, which was great. But now it's like, I don't want this anymore. So I'm trying to like binge through as much of their content as possible, because basically at the end of November, I'm canceling. So I'm like just tearing through all of this stuff, trying to like find all this weird random stuff that they have. And I'm like, okay, and so that's why I just post stuff on my Facebook. I'm like, yo, you guys don't even believe that this exists. But I found it. Here it is. You're on your own if you want to see it. But, you know.
I canceled Hulu because we really weren't watching it. And then there was some movie that my daughter wanted to watch, and it was only on Hulu. And, you know, so she keeps track of all that. Corey says, hey, everyone. Hey, Corey. Brian was talking about a funny meme he saw the other day. It was MySpace. And it says, I bet you regret leaving, in reference to, what's going on with Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, people are talking about MySpace all the time now because it was the first.
I never had it.
It was a non-algorithmic thing. It just existed. Whoever you connected with, you connected with. I was behind on that. Like, I was a very early Facebook adopter, which is why I'm still here, basically. But MySpace was kind of right on the way out as I was coming into all this social media stuff. So I kind of remember it, but not enough to really be able to talk about it.
I don't know anything about it. I never had a MySpace account. I got onto Facebook in 2009. I got on Instagram in 2014, as well as Twitter. Didn't do anything really with Twitter for the longest time. I'm like, I don't get this. Thank you, Corey. I'm not alone. Corey says I never had MySpace either.
There was, for a very short time, there was a place called Comic Space, which was basically MySpace, but it was all comic stuff. And so I was on there too, but it didn't survive. There was no real purpose for that niche to exist on its own outside of just the totality of, social media. So
I saw a dating app that was for comic book lovers. It was in my news feed. And I'm like, wow, they have a dating app for everyone.
I can't even comprehend that stuff. I'll pass. I'll sit here in the house by myself in the snow.
Walk around the lake.
I'm fine. Seriously, I'm fine.
Brian says, tomorrow I'm watching UTSA versus Rice and Michigan versus Illinois. So there's what platform is doing all of the football? There's one app that's.
I have no idea. I don't do college football, so I have no idea. And the NFL pisses me off because everything that they do is archaic. Like they're generally this sport that's so far ahead of the curve of everything, but they have no ability to let me watch my team. Like, all I want is a subscription service, and I'll pay you every year. NFL, you listening? I'll pay you every year.
Who's your team?
It's the Chargers. And all I want is to give you money so that I can watch their games from Michigan, and they're in Los Angeles. So I can't get their games. I'm not in their pocket zone of, how you get Charger games. You have to live in LA. That's horseshit. We all live across the country. We're all watching games. We move, all that kind of stuff. So,
except for Lions fans.
Well, yeah. But it's like the NFL is so, and they just sold part of their schedule to Amazon, and all the games are crappy.
Right. So Brian's saying ESPN. I'm like, no, I think Amazon Prime is showing the football games. And Brian says his team is Miami Dolphins.
They do.
Wait.
Amazon has an NFL game each week.
Okay.
I don't know how it works with college. That's beyond me. But I'm frustrated that I can't just subscribe to Charger games. Like that's billions of dollars waiting to happen.
You have the internet. I mean, you should be able to watch a game that's not in your backyard.
That's what. Yep.
Brian, your team is a Florida team, and you're bitching about Florida all the time, and you're moving to Texas. What's going on? And Corey says to you, Tom,
be a Cowboys fan.
Corey says, I like your Kickstarter book. It looks like you've got some great artists on it. So can you list the artists again, Tom?
Yeah. So the main cover, the mermaid cover, is done as is with all of our books. The A cover is always the interior artist, always. So when you're buying it just sort of like off the rack or, at a con or whatever, that's what you're getting on the inside. So that's Chow Mahato and Chris Chua, and they do the series. They've done all 3 of the books too. So it's a continuous team through all the books. So every book that you pick up, the art is the same. And
I like it.
then
Is a
so then
funny.
there's CB Zane does the Bella Rose cover. This one that you're looking at right there, that is MR Gunn. That is the Mrs. White cover. Isanetto Adamar does, which is behind me right here. This is the Pocahontas cover. And then what's the last one? Oh, Narciso Sousa, the new guy for us. He is doing the Cindy cover. And then, of course, Marissa Pope has her own Cindy cover that's part of the mystery box. And then the pink versions here, again, are all today only. They will be printed to order. So if you want those books, you have less than 6 hours to order them now.
We have a Facebook user. Introduce yourself, Facebook user. Says, love the big dog.
Yeah, you guys, you got to go over to.
Brian says, I've been a Dolphins fan since Dan Marino. I was living in San Diego, the real home of your Chargers, Tom.
Yeah, well, they started it in LA though. 1960, they were in LA, so they played their first year in LA. They won the AFL championship, then they moved to San Diego. So technically, it's technically they just went home. But what really drove me crazy is they came to LA or after I left. Like I lived in LA my whole life, and then I left and they moved to LA. So like, God damn, guys, that's a pretty crappy thing.
Todd Father is watching.
Brett Todd in here. What's going on, Brett?
Well, yeah. So you know that the New York versus the Browns is going to be in Detroit. Mm-hmm. Due to weather.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one funny thing
thanks
is
for
when I was writing Ursa Minor, the first volume, because it takes place in Los Angeles. It actually says in the first issue, the Los Angeles Chargers. So I actually predicted their move well before they moved.
I've got to find my copy, and I'll take a picture to show Ryan.
Yeah, I put it out into the universe and it worked, but it didn't work in time, and I moved, so I haven't been to the new stadium yet or anything. So, but that's a real thing. If you read that first volume, it'll talk about the Chargers moving to LA.
Are you going to stay in Michigan for the winter, or are you going to go out to Arizona?
I'm here. Basically, I'm here,
Okay.
but there is the chance I'm going to go out to Albuquerque Comic Con because they always invite me. The problem this year is that I don't have the shipping details for the Critter action figure yet. And based on what they're telling me, because they're in production right now, I think they're going to be shipping in December sometime, which means they should be arriving maybe in January. So I can't be in Albuquerque if the toys are showing up. So I have to get the logistics with them done. And once they tell me,
give me the keys to your place. I'll sign for it. I'll sign for UPS.
It's just, yeah, you don't want 1,000 Critter figures showing up at your house. You don't have anywhere to put that.
No. I'll go to the lake house. You just give me the keys.
So as soon as I figure out what the hell their schedule is, then I'll know if I'm going to end up out west at all this year. But otherwise, it'll just be January. And then I'll go down to Arizona for a little bit, but I don't do the full like 6 month swing anymore. That's gone. I had to cut that out. I needed to focus on building infrastructure for all this Kickstarter stuff, and then COVID happened and the recession happened. It's just like, oh my God, I feel like every time I start to like really settle in and be like, okay, now I can like hire somebody and like I can do things, like kaboom. The world explodes again. I'm like, now I'm 6 months behind again. So I'm really trying to stay way on top of everything right now.
Someone says, go see Jesse James Christian.
Yeah, Jesse's not out there anymore. Well, he's there occasionally, but he goes now between Arizona and Florida. So depends on when he's going to be out there.
Brett says, we love it when Tom is on his show and ours. I think that's Brett also. He's like, I'll take them, Tom. He's going to take all your 1,000 Critter statues.
Yeah, you don't know what that looks like. You don't want that You don't want that.
And do you have to check all the box, like individual, make sure that nothing's broken? Like, do you check?
I mean, this is my first time doing this, so
Okay.
I don't really know what any of this is going to look like, in any capacity. I know there's going to be a ton of pallets with a ton of toys that are all, boxed up, and I have to get them into the warehouse, and then I just have to start shipping these things. So, and that's the whole thing. It's like, even if I could arrange for them to go somewhere, I don't really want to. I don't want them sitting for a long time, because these guys, we did this campaign in January. So I want to get these shipped out as fast as we can. I mean, I've been updating everybody. Like, I have no control over this. It's like, whatever these guys tell me, this is what I can tell you. So all I know right now is they're in production, and I'm guessing they're going to ship in December. So now I just need to know, are they arriving in January, or are they arriving in February, so that I can do the con and then be back in time? I don't know. And I don't know yet.
Right. Brian says Tom is a wonderful guest. He definitely brings something special, and I think it's a laugh emoji.
Oh yeah, I told you I caused problems. I raised hell.
And then he's asking, so who was the brave soul to wake you up, Tom?
Oh no, that's Siri wakes me up. That's the only way I wake up now is Siri.
And you have two.
I'm just out here by myself, so
Is that 2 or 3 more backers, Lola? You've been paying attention.
Yeah, we've gotten a couple more.
Yeah. 2 more backers. Congratulations. I mean, yeah, 6 hours and you doubled. That's amazing. I'm so happy for you. I've got to, so later on tonight, hopefully, what I want isn't going to be like all taken up with all your backers.
Oh no, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Nothing's going to be selling out today. But everything is limited to 100 copies. So at some point in the next couple of weeks, you're going to want to dive in and make sure you get something that you want.
Oh no, tonight, because I want this. I want this.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You want the trading cards. Yeah. And then if you get the pink one, you have to get a pink one tonight, or they're all gone. So yeah.
Yeah, Lola. So when you were looking for your charger and all that, Lola and I were talking, and she likes the mermaid the best. Yeah, the pink mermaid.
That's the new princess. You're gonna have to read that story. We do. This is not a normal princess story at all.
You got zombies in there.
Well, yeah, that for sure. Yeah. But like even our Bella Rose, she's blind, so she wears those glasses, like the glam glasses. But there's a reason for it. It's because she's blind. So we've thrown twists and turns into this story and these characters and what they do and how they do it, and so it's I think it's fun. It pokes fun at other zombie stuff. I'm notoriously harsh on The Walking Dead. I don't like it at all. So there's all kinds of like Walking Dead jokes in there. One of the characters just basically flips some people off, and they're like, The Walking Dead sucks. So it's just so
you're not making bad jokes, you're just like blatantly out there.
Well, yes, that too. It's that, and there's just some jokes. There's some meta stuff in there where we talk about like the older people are talking about comics, and then the kids are like, what the hell's a comic book? Stuff like that. So it's fun. It's very modern, very now, and it's interesting to play around with that stuff. And I don't know, it's an interesting, fun book. So it'll run. I think it was planned to run like 6 issues, like 6 full issues, not including the little mini in between issues like the 0 and this 1.5. So it'll be 6 issues plus however many little minis we do, and then that'll be, the series, and it'll be done.
Which one? So what did you give me? You were so kind to me. You just gave me your last copy.
Yeah, you got the
Fest.
Yeah, you got the issue 1, which is the
one I have.
Yeah, which is the Walking Dead homage. That sort of, you're doing a zombie book, you're sort of obligated to do it. So we paid homage and then flipped them off is what we did. So I think that's a fair balance in creativity.
Oh gosh, yeah. So it's not just movies that you're very opinionated about. It's TV shows too. I never got into The Walking Dead because my girls were still kind of young, and we didn't watch scary or horror type things. So,
well, zombies for me, just in general, not just The Walking Dead, but zombies in general for me, I just don't care. Like, it's just not my genre. There's a handful of things that I like. I like Zombieland. I like World War Z. There's some weird things, like there's the Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse or some stuff like that. So there's a few things that I'm like, these are okay.
That one was comedy. That was,
right.
That was a cute movie.
Right. It's very much like this. It's pure parody. It's not taking anything seriously. It's so, there are some things that I like, but that's where this whole thing came from, is people would ask me like, well, if you did a zombie book, like, how would you do it then if you don't like zombies? And I was like, I have no clue. And then there was a Comic-Con. We were at Baltimore Comic-Con, and we went to Hooters at the Inner Harbor, and I was there with Jesse Witchman and a couple of fans, Crystal and Matt Buchanan, and it came up again, like, well, what would you do? And I said, if I did a zombie book, it would have to be something just so far outside the box, like Princesses versus Zombies. That's literally how it happened. And everybody laughed, and we all laughed, and in the back of my brain, it just sat there. And so I don't know how long, 6 months later or something, I messaged Jesse, and I was like, Jesse, you remember that thing that we talked about, that Princess versus Zombies? He's like, yeah. I said, you up for like designing characters for that? And we can just see if anyone even cares. And he was like, yeah. So he started designing, and he did Cindy and Mrs. Well, he did all the original 4, but Cindy was first, I think, and we debuted her as an art print. There was no book, so we just had an art print, and we put it on the table at Keystone Comic-Con in Philadelphia. And people would come by, and they'd be like, "What is that?"
What is this?
Yeah, that's Princesses versus Zombies. That's Cindy. She's, whatever. And they were like, "Oh, where's the book?" Well, there's no book. It's just the print. Well, why is there no book? Well, because I don't know if anyone cares about this. And then they bought the print. So I was like, oh, I guess they care. And then we did Mrs. White at C2E2. We did Bella Rose, and then we did Pocahontas. And at that point, we knew we had something. And so we tried out a mini book, 8-page mini book, the number 0. That was our Princess Day in 2019. We did like a 69-hour campaign. Nonsense. Sold really well. And I was like, well, damn, I guess this is a real thing. And so then we put out, like I said, we put out the real book, the full book in April of the following year during the COVID pandemic. And now we're back, and now we're doing it again. So
when you made the prints, when you decided to, figure out some characters and you made the prints, at that time, did you have your story like outlined or in your head, or you just...
Nada. No. I technically, yes, because zombie stories aren't really stories. Like they're not anything. Like, take any zombie story that you have and replace all of the zombies with tigers. It's essentially the same story, right? You don't want to get eaten by the thing.
So not much of a plot is what you're saying.
Right. There very rarely is there a plot. Very rarely do you ever even get to know how the zombies happened. It's just, you're in the world, zombies, run. Like, that's it. So it's all character driven. And so I think that's always the trick with zombie stuff for me, is I never care about the characters. So I don't care if they die. And if I don't care if they die, then I don't care about your show. And that's how it all kind of falls into place for me. And so that's why there's only a few things. Like, I like Zombieland. I like all of those characters. Those are all fantastic characters. So for me, when I was designing Cindy and Mrs. Rose, or Bella Rose and Mrs. White, I was designing the characters, not the world, because I knew that basically the world was going to be, oh my God, zombies. So you had to have characters that had elements to them. So like Bella Rose, I was like, okay, I have to have the beast. How do I do the beast? I can give her a dog. That's fine. But what else can I do to this besides just giving her a dog? Oh my God, she could be blind. And then I thought about it. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen a blind person in a zombie show or movie. I'm sure there must be, because there's too many of them, but I've never seen it. So I thought that's really fun to play with.
You're watching the people in the foreground, not the guy who keeps like butting against the pillar in the background.
Yes. Yeah. So Bella Rose is blind. Mrs. White is Snow White. So how do you play with Snow White? Well, Snow White had the 7 dwarves. How do you do the 7 dwarves? So she's a hockey mom. and she's got the kids with her, with the station wagon, the hockey mom. So, on and on. And the Pocahontas was just purely nonsense, right? Like, how is this Pocahontas? So when you read the book, she tells the other girls, like, I'm Pocahontas. And they all look at her like, huh? And then she goes, I'm Pocahontas if she was a vampire. So it's this, again, it's just nonsense cosplay thing. Like, so Pocahontas is basically a super cosplayer in this book. And so in her mind, she's just blending up genres and, having a good time and whatever. So literally she talks about it. You do it for the cosplay, that kind of stuff in the book. So she's a cosplayer, so on and so on. So you have to build these characters to be something that people care about within the, okay, let's run away again sort of standpoint of the zombie stuff.
Well, that's right. You write the character in such a way that someone can relate, and they attach themselves to your character. They fall in love with your character, and then they hate you for life because you killed off that character.
You killed them, right? Yeah, right. That's the old if Daryl dies, we riot thing from The Walking Dead, right? Yeah. But basically, yes, yeah.
Do you like iZombie, that TV show?
I've never seen it. I know what that is, but I know there's no way I would like it. No, that's too pop culture-y. I wouldn't. No.
I think I watched the first season. That was
yeah. No. Zombie stuff is very, very difficult for me. I did like Train to Busan, but I struggled with it because I was reading the subtitles, and so reading a horror movie kind of ruins the effect. Like, I want to watch the things jumping at me. Yeah, you're too up and down on the focus. So I liked it. I thought it was good. But I'm
not. I'm still jumping and screaming.
the subtitles threw it off for me. So, but I thought Train to Busan was a good movie. Yeah,
I can't get behind a porn. There's no plot. I'm like, what's going on here? Is that person that person? Is that person with that person? I don't get it. Oh my. Well, I've eaten up over an hour. Anything more you want to, tell us about the Kickstarter? We've been actually kind of watching it as we've been going along.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we've basically covered it. Again, it's going to be a 12-day campaign, guys. So, don't look at this as like you've got a month or whatever, because you don't. 12 days, we end November 30th. There will be a final add-on on the 30th. I will tell you that Keith Garvey is doing the art. I will tell you nothing else because we'll be teasing it along the way, so you guys are ready for it. But yeah, that's basically where we're at. It's the book itself it's Halloween night. All of the girls are doing the cliche, sexy princess costume thing, while the zombies start to rise. And so the first issue is basically the origin story. It's who are these characters? What are they doing? How do they end up together? And then this issue itself, this new one that we're doing, is actually sort of a prequel because it actually takes place before issue 1, sort of at the same time as issue 0. So it's actually a bit of a prequel, but you'll understand how it all connects within the larger story. So it introduces a new princess, but it is a prequel. And yeah, and there's elements of it that will continue to run through all of the issues. Like there's trick-or-treaters in the first issue that are dressed up like BDI characters. They show up again in this book, and they will continue to run around, and be sort of that funny Easter egg, like, oh, there's the kids, there they go, they've survived again somehow. So that kind of stuff we're going to play with.
Is there a big dog following them?
No, the zombies, the zombies are following them, So, and again, so you'll see anybody who read issue 1, you'll recognize them here. And in fact, Ursa Minor, there's a girl dressed up like Naomi, and the guy who opens the door says something about werewolves, and she looks up, she says, "Werebears?" And he looks at her and says, "There's no such thing as a werebear." And then she just looks all pissed off because like Ursa Minor's a werebear. So, it's just, it's all meta, goofy stuff and really fun. But again, none of that really, it's not going to affect your reading if you don't know what that stuff is. It's still written to just be fun and funny. There are always going to be Easter eggs and little drops of knowledge that help, but nothing is going to be so far outside the realm of the story that it's going to take away from it.
You went up again.
Woohoo! Look at that.
And we went up like 7, almost. I think 6 or 7.
When we first started, it was 118 backers. Now you're at 127 backers, and you're over the 10,000 mark.
So we got 9 backers. No,
10,
8 backers. No, 8. No, 9. Has to be 9. Yeah. If we were at 18, we're at 27, so that's 9.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and you're at 10,161.
Doubled
tonight,
our goal.
Tonight only is the pink, pretty in pink special.
And the trading cards. So every backer, doesn't matter what you buy, every backer gets a trading card. That's automatic. That's not a stretch goal. That's just an automatic thing. Everybody today gets one. And then all of the pink holofoils, the pretty in pink holofoils, printed to order based on today's orders.
Okay.
So that's how that's going to work.
It's going to be very limited then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when we tend to do these on our other one, not these pretty in pinks, but we do holofoils that are limited, printed to order. Generally, they land somewhere in the area of like 15 to 25 copies. So they're super, super limited. And if you miss them, you probably will not have a chance again, because the guys that are buying these things, they're going in their collections and they're not coming out.
And girls too.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we have a huge female fan base, gigantic.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes. And there are pictures of you as a princess out there.
There was one. Yeah, I was granted the right to wear the royal crown of Oz by Princess Ozma when I was at Ozstravaganza. The I'm not going to remember her name now, but the actress who played Ozma in Return to Oz was at Ozstravaganza, and we had a storm that we had to go down into the basement, and we were just hanging out down there, and she had her crown on, and I was sitting next to her, and she just picked it up, put it on me, and I was like, damn, that just happened, so
I remember you telling me the story, and then I saw the picture online, and then at Monroe Pop Fest you put my comment.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I'm borrowing Lola's today.
I have been crowned a few times. Yes.
And we're all swapping crowns.
But there's no lice yet, so I guess that's good.
Ew.
No princess lice.
Princesses don't have lice.
Apparently not. Apparently not.
All right, we're gonna have to get a sword out here and knight him or something. So, and then people can follow you. You are on Instagram as well as Facebook. Are you on Twitter?
Yeah, Instagram and Twitter is BDI Comics. Facebook, you can find me. You can look up Big Dog Inc. Basically, anywhere you go, just look for Big Dog Inc. and you should be able to find us pretty easily. We also do a Patreon page that's /Big Dog Inc. And everybody there gets to watch all of this stuff get built, from lines to colors to letters, preview stuff, design stuff. They get to watch Big Dog Inc. happen, and they also get bonuses. So every 6 months there is a free variant cover that they get just automatically. It's like, there's a bonus for you there. And then everybody who is a patron that also backs our Kickstarters, we have what's called Patreon perks, where if you are a patron that backs our Kickstarter, you'll get a sketch art card for free added to your pack as well. So there are lots of bonuses for being a patron as well.
Membership has its privileges.
That's right.
Well, thanks for joining me today, Tom, and good luck with the rest of the campaign. I will be making my pledge quite soon.
Excellent. Yeah, thanks. It's good to be back. Glad you're doing this again, and I appreciate the invite.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure seeing you. Too bad I don't get the big man hugs today.
Well, I don't know when I'll see you again. It probably won't be until Monroe again. Although if you're at C2E2, I might just be roaming around the floor at C2E2.
I don't know, because I'm coming out with my own book, so I'm paying my artists and
I get it.
Russ Cassidy to set my pages for me and be the liaison with Ready Printing for me. So exciting.
Absolutely. Make it happen.
I'm trying. Because I'm 50 this year. So it is my goal to publish this year.
That's good. That's great. Do it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
you. All right. Well, you take care. We'll be in touch soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.